Hi everybody, I'm DJ Foster. Welcome to the Matt Mitchell Show. I'm joined by Grand Valley State head football coach Matt Mitchell. Coach, tough loss obviously this past weekend against Ashland at home, 37-14 loss. The Eagles got out to a 20-0 lead at halftime, and I'm sure you can attest to this, and it's one thing you noticed, but Ashland had a lot of long drives. Their scoring drives were 12, 8, 14, 10, 7, 10, and 10-play drives. That really does a number on your defense, who I didn't think played that badly overall. They just couldn't get off the field, and a lot of long scoring drives that ate a bunch of clock and got your guys worn down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few factors when we take a look at it. For a team to have 22 third down opportunities, I mean, you're playing okay on first and second down. You're not giving up a lot of big plays, but then we weren't able to get off the field on third down very effectively. And to play over 50 snaps of defense in the first half, it definitely could take a toll on it. So we didn't get off the field on third down enough on the defensive side of the ball, and conversely, offensively, we weren't able to convert some third and shorts, some fourth and shorts, some things to kind of extend drives on our end. And so, from a defensive perspective, we lost a little bit of discipline on some third downs and some man coverage, which kind of hurt us in the first half. And then the drive that really was kind of the backbreaker really was the one before the end of the first half. We had them backed up, and we had a personal foul penalty, which really hurt us on that particular drive, and then we busted a coverage, which led to that. So if you could have held them to 13 points and made some adjustments in at halftime and getting the ball to start the second half, we might have had a little bit of a different feel to it coming out of halftime. But the one that we gave up there definitely hurt. Like as I said, with our depth we have right now on the defensive line, we're really rotating. We don't have anybody to rotate. So for those guys to play, I think 55 snaps in the first half, I think you saw the effect on that in the second half, because we did do a good job stopping the run. And then it just kind of ultimately we wore down a little bit. End of the third quarter, and obviously in the fourth quarter too.
A couple of bright spots, at least offensively. Jamie Potts had a career high in receiving yards, 172 yards on 9 catches, went over 2,000 yards for his career, the 9th player to do that. Terrell Dorsey looked good in his first real extended action, 12 carries for 81 yards against a good Ashland defense that leads the league in scoring defense. Trying to pick up some bright spots from there. What do you think with Jamie and Terrell?
Well, obviously Jamie's with Chris going out early in the first quarter, it was the most experienced player that we had, and so we have to get him involved, and we did do a good job getting him involved in some different things, and we continue to lean on him in the passing game. I thought Terrell, for being forced in the situation that he was forced into, did a good job managing it. Again, this is a person we were potentially looking at a redshirt, and he'd broke his leg at the spring game and really hadn't gone through anything in the summer, nothing in fall camp, and we had to pull the red shirt off, and we started losing some of these tailbacks, and he got in there and had he's not going to be a home run threat. He's not going to be the guy that's going to get the big play, but he's going to churn out some of those hard yards inside there. And I thought he did a good job. He got good feet, made some people miss, kind of bounced off some tackles. And again, we've got to be a little bit careful about the number of carries that he gets based on where he's at in terms of his just conditioning level more than anything with coming off that injury. So moving forward, we're gonna he'll be our top tailback, or we got to get Hershey Jackson more involved in the thing and try to we can't give Terrell 30 carries a game. I thought the number of carries that he got, he handled those very well in that particular contest.
Talk about Tiffin coming in this Saturday, a 4 o'clock game at Lubbers. They're 5-4 overall, 4-4 in GLIAC play. They have some good wins this year. This is not the normal Tiffin team we've seen in the last few years that has struggled. They beat Saginaw Valley, Malone. They won at Wayne State, beat Hillsdale. This past weekend they took on Michigan Tech. It was a 21-17 game in the third quarter. Talk about Tiffin and how they've improved from last couple seasons to this year.
Yeah, I think we started on the offensive side of the ball. Antonio Pipkin is he's a multi-sport athlete, plays basketball also at Tiffin, and we saw him a little bit last year here at home. They put him in the game as a true freshman, so he's a true sophomore. He's a threat to beat you both with his arm and also run around. He extends plays, and so he's a very good athlete. I think you're seeing the maturation of him within their system, that he's becoming more and more comfortable with what they have. They do a really good job of spreading the ball around. They run the ball in some different types of ways. There's a lot of shorter type passes. They'll take some shots down the field. So their offense is very diverse. I think the strength of their offense is their quarterback and their skill players out on the edge. Marcus Bierman is a good receiver. Tony Shedd was another kid that we knew about coming out of high school. They've got some good skill players out on the outside. Defensively, they rank towards the top of the league in terms of passing defense. and that's probably something we're good at. Conversely, they rank towards the bottom of the league in terms of rushing defense, and that's something we're not as good at. So it'll be an interesting matchup with them, just how our offense is going to match up given our depth and where we're at in the run game. And it's obviously going to be harder to throw the ball around a little bit based statistically on what we've seen and what they've been able to do.
Your defense, second in the league in sacks. You're the only team in the conference with double-digit interceptions and fumble recoveries. What do you hope to see from your defense? How do you think you can slow down Pipkin and a couple of their good guys on the outside?
Well, we've got to get we got to get some of those sacks, and got to get some of those tackles for losses if they decide to run the ball. We got to get some negative plays and get them off schedule. When they're on schedule and extend drives are very good, and we got to get off the field. We didn't get off the field as effectively last week as we need to, so. We've got to get off the field and get the ball back to our offense. Our offense had 4 possessions in the first half. Now, we didn't have very much effectiveness in those 4 possessions, but only 4 possessions in the first half is not enough. So our defense has got to get off the field and get the ball back to them. And and we got to, obviously with the end of the season here, we got to put some pressure on our playmakers and on the defensive side of the ball. So Hurst's got to step up and play well. We got to put Devontae Jones in some situations where he's got to play well, and hopefully we can get some pressure on the quarterback. And with our defensive line still being kind of the strength of our defense, I'm optimistic that will happen.
As I mentioned, it's a 4 o'clock game this Saturday, the final home game of the year. It'll be senior day. Got a big senior class. Want to send them out the right way. What do you want to see from your team?
Well, as I said, this senior class has still got a lot to fight for. Obviously, they don't want to be the group that does not have a winning record and a very strong tradition here. So they got 2 games in front of them to ensure that. It's a last home game at Lubbers, which always means a little bit something to those seniors, and sets us up heading into a big rivalry game the next week. So there's a lot on the table here. We're banged up with some positions, but we still have some seniors that are fighting and competing very hard. And starts with our quarterback Heath Parling, and I'm sure that. He's going to have to go out there and he'll take charge of this thing and lead this team throughout the course of the week of practice and get better. And we'll make the best that we can given our running back situation. We got to go out and score. We got to score some more points against a quality team like Tiffin.
Grand Valley State and Tiffin this Saturday afternoon, a 4 p.m. start in Lubbers Stadium, the final home game of the 2014 season. Mitch, thanks for your time. We'll talk again this week.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for watching the Matt Mitchell Show here on the Grand Valley Sports Network.